What did a friend of yours do that turned you on without them knowing it? A good friend and I were once drunk and tired, so we came up with the idea of taking turns slapping each other in the face. So that was a weird boner. This is funny, you can see the drunk logic right away. I'm honestly amazed I've never thought of it. And at least no one used a leather punch on an ear. The restaurant I used to work at had a vacuum we could use that was shaped as a big red box that you could strap to your back like a backpack. It definitely looked straight out of Ghostbusters. My very cute co-worker was using it, and when I jokingly asked if she was having fun, she responded with, "Who ya gonna call?" This was almost 10 years ago. I was wearing a jacket that was unzipped. She put her arms inside my jacket to hug me goodbye. Felt weird for some reason, even though it was outside the shirt I was wearing. When my husband at the time was just my friend, we were wrestling a bit and I ended up standing over him with my foot pressed on his stomach. He tried to move and I teased, "Don't move or I'll step on you harder," and pressed down playfully. It was that moment I realized he liked dominant women and I like dominating. You must be the only woman describing how a guy turned you on. All the others are men talking about how a girl turned them on. She was meant to go out but ended up sitting with me chatting. She was all dressed up and because of the way she was sitting, her dress kept sliding up her thigh. She fixed it twice but stopped trying. Her thigh wasn't totally exposed but a bit more was showing off. That's how I realized I have a thing for legs. We were studying and she said, "F this, let's do some jujitsu," and jumped on me. I did my frickin' best to prevent that erection. Let it fly, brother. I wrestled for a long time and one day in high school my girl went, "Let's wrestle, I'll kick your butt," so I said alright, playing along, letting her get some ground, almost pinning me, then lifting my shoulder last second, just letting her have fun with it. Well, of course I got a erection. She noticed and started to put herself into some pretty intentional positions. Next thing I know she's riding me, and happy cause she finally pinned me. Edit. Moral of the story is an accident is an accident. If she goes, "Ew, what the F," you could play it off for what it is. If she starts doing something else, more power to ya. I was wrestling with a girl, not fake wrestling. Both of us were actually trying to win and we were in a ring, who I wasn't really interested in. When she had me in a hold that I wasn't able to get out of, I got a small chub. I had reach, she had flexibility. Later, we held a tiebreaker in her quarters. I had reach, she had flexibility. More than one way to work off stress, I guess. As a joke of my best friend attempting to act crazy, she put her hand around my neck and tried to choke me, and I just started smiling. My manager and I were talking about something and he called over another co-worker, and she ran up and did a little hop into a superhero pose. I was speechless for a couple of seconds cause that was the cutest thing I've ever seen somebody do. A college housemate was on the couch next to me as we watched TV one night. She mentioned a concert that was coming up and asked if I was down to go. I wasn't too keen, so I turned and have her a blank stare. She held my gaze and moved her eyebrows up and down twice quickly. The effect was devastating. I don't know if it counts as turned on or a moment of deep infatuation, but I still think about those goddamn eyebrows. She turned pages and pulled stops for my college junior year organ recital. As she moved from one side of the organ console to the other, she kept brushing me with her breath. I was running sound for a band on my iPad a handful of years ago. It was a pretty new thing at the time, so people were always interested in what I was doing. This stacked knockout gets interested and gets so close her boob is touching my arm. Really, it's basically resting on top of my arm. I'm supporting this thing like Atlas holding up the globe. I had no idea what to do. Does she know? Am I violating her or am I being violated? Should I move away? Do I say something? Is she into me? No, no, no. That's crazy. She's just surprised to see what I'm doing. Just awkwardly smile and answer her questions. Solid 5 minutes of this. Years later, I'm still not sure how to feel about what happened. FaceTimed me while she was wearing cute pajamas. Now cute pajamas is on my ever-growing list of things that I am ashamed turns me on. Frick. One of my friends once said, as she looked at herself in the mirror, "Dang, I'd frick myself." Really turned me on for some reason. I sat beside a girl in school, really attractive with a nice body. She always leaned backwards over her chair to stretch and crack her back, so when she did it she let out that huge sigh and a little moan. Yeah, fuck concentrating for the rest of the lesson. I blame her for being bad in school. So it was the day after this huge natural disaster happened, major news story in the US in August 2017, and the government agency I work for was like, all hands on deck, So every civil engineer was assigned to relief and recovery efforts, including me. The guy who sat next to me at work was your typical nerdy engineer, but dressed nicer. Then as I was waiting outside to be sent to the field, I saw him getting out of a truck wearing dirty jeans, steel toe boots, and carrying his hard hat, looking all sweaty and dirty and delicious. He's my boyfriend now. Hard hat and boots? I am totally into this, winky face, that's my normal work attire. My best friend is in medicine and he wears scrubs. I can promise you more women dig the scrubs. Not according to TLC. One of my co-workers started talking to me about a scientific field he was really passionate about, and that was when I started looking at him differently for a bit. I've been told women find it attractive for a man to be enthusiastic about something worth being enthusiastic about, i.e., his political views, his career/field/hobby. AM man. Me man attracted to passionate people. Me man also gay. Theory complicated. People attracted by passion and motivation. Are you sure you're a man? Because you sound like Grimlock. I'll do a science. A friend of mine asked me to hang out with her in her dorm room. We were planning on watching a movie, but at the same time she said she was going to do some laundry. I told her I had no issue helping her with, i.e. carrying the actual laundry bag. I knew she was kind of taking advantage of me, but she also made killer nachos, so it seemed like a fair trade. When I got there she was essentially wearing sleepwear. A tank top, half shirt and very tight red running shorts. It was very difficult to pay attention to movie. So she asked you to hang out in her dorm with her, was wearing sexy clothes and made you food? Many moments of our initial relationship could be described like that. On what I later learned was our first date, I told her that I was looking forward to asking out another girl. Bruh moment. 15 years ago my friend at uni invited some of us over to watch him play Resident Evil 4 that had just been released on the GameCube and later watch a film. Knocked on his door, he answered and I got the strangest lady boner. He had picked up his new glasses and had a haircut when he picked up the game in town. Something about his new look stirred something inside me. Started dating 4 years later and we're getting married next year. Damn, congrats, that haircut changed his life then. Don't underestimate the haircut every 4 weeks. She was singing as part of a play for an arts program I was participating in. I had just met her a few weeks before that performance, and was dating someone at the time, but my heart stopped for a second when I heard her. I didn't get to really talk to her for a few years after that, but always kept how that felt in mind. A year and a half ago I shot my shot and we've been dating since. Not exactly turned on, but absolutely taken by her. Ugh. I had a friend in high school who was a fantastic musician, jazz band, not me, I was the nerdy jock, and no one knew she could sing. She worked it out with the band director that they would have her sing at last during her final show, even the band didn't know. Now I always found her rather attractive, but after that she had folks practically throwing themselves at her. Not me though. I only, when she asked what I thought, replied, I kind of want to marry you. What is a nerdy jock? That seems like such an oxymoron based on American TV. I played a few sports, none of them particularly well, but well enough, but I was also the guy to ask if you struggled with your math homework. Oh, and I played lots of D&D, AD&D, 2ed. So like, people knew who I was, but I wasn't super popular, and while I never hung out with the cool people, no one shoved me into lockers either. He was giving a talk in front of a bunch of people and he was so confident and intelligent and everyone was just so engaged with what he was saying. I legitimately wanted to just suck his dick right there. Watching him own that room was so fucking hot. By your description I too want to suck his stick. Just cheer it. Christ, didn't Dora the Explorer teach you anything? I don't recall that particular episode. She never wears skirts, except for that one time she did. It was this light, colorful, flowing number. It did amazing things to her already fantastic figure. I had TE reverse, is schoolgirls wear skirts. One day she wore jeans for no reason. It was hot. I wish more girls wore skirts, sad face. Sadly, creepy people have ruined the chances of most women wearing skirts in my experience. True enough. People ruin everything. I was sitting on the steps of a shop with a couple friends when she came around the corner with some of her friends. We talked a bit and then she sat on my lap and brushed my hair. She couldn't get rid of me from that time on. We were married for 44 years and she died of cancer in March this year. I feel so empty and lonely and miss her like crazy. I'm so sorry. Hubby and I have had almost 13 years together so far. Almost 3 years ago I was diagnosed with a terminal and incurable illness. I've recently taken a turn for the worse and diagnosed with additional complications. We have been making the most of the time we have left, but I often worry about how he will be without me. We still have hope and treatment is helping me live a new normal, but you never know when it's your time. Edited to thank whoever sent me my first Reddit award ever. You're awesome, thanks for brightening my day, smiley face. Edit #2 thank you for my first gold ever. Wow. She asked me to practice lines with her for a play she was in. In one scene she was being bossed around by her husband. Do this, do that, wear this when you are doing it. And that was how I found out I was a DOM. I told her when she asked me a second time though. She was a close friend, and we had a good talk about it. She helped me figure out what was going on. We did actually hook up a few times, but it was 10 years after this took place. We are still great friends. Also, I am currently typing this post using her as a table for my laptop. She's super into it. I precisely joined the sub for that kind of comment. This sub. I had a crush on a friend for a couple of weeks when I got a feeling that it was fading. Good, because feelings are complicated. But then he trimmed his beard. Ah shoot, here we go again. All I can imagine is that GTA meme, but his head has been photoshopped with a woman's head. I feel like this is a ploy to get Redditors everywhere to trim their beards. BRB trimming my beard. Got him. Ah yes, been there too. We were at a local indie wrestling show, and she started heckling one of the guys in the ring. He started responding to her, and then tried to pick a fight, pointing for her to get in the ring. Instead, she just points at her feet and stares this hulk of a wrestler down until he relents. Fucking damn. I don't get the point at the feet part. Was she saying no, you come out here and fight me? Yeah, basically. Like, why would I go up there? You get your ass down here instead. The way she did it though was like how you point when a misbehaving dog/child needs to come back immediately. Hey baby. Could you stand over there and point at your feet for me? MMMF. That's real good.